Hello.
Hello.
What does this look
Cute hair.
different? Thank you.
Oh wow, that's
Hi.
clear. Hey, wow, yeah, that's nice. No wonder why she likes doing these. Um,
Right?
yeah,
How are things?
things are good.
That's
We're get
good.
we got the house ready and everything, so we're ready for showings. We
That's huge.
yeah. Like I said, we're gonna have like most of the day to ourselves because the girls are going shopping, which is awesome. Um,
That's way awesome. Use it wisely.
yes, yes.
Date day.
Yeah. We might go shopping for them actually.
Oh, that
Oh, we
sounds like a
got
good
them. Oh
idea.
my gosh, we got. I don't want to say. We went to the jewelry store to fix Rachel's ring, right? 'Cause she was missing a prong on her ring, so we were getting it fixed for
Yeah.
Christmas, and we saw the cutest thing, these tiny little stud pearls, and like so we got one for each of the girls, so we're getting them like
Oh,
pearl stud earrings. I'm
oh,
so excited about it.
cute.
Yeah, so that's
And
like
they're all
the
matching and
no, like one
oh, I
the
love
ones that
that.
are a little bit pink, they're going to Elena, and then the little bit larger ones going to Bella because we know that's like the style she likes, and then like a little bit smaller ones, like
Yep.
modest ones for Haley because we know that's how she likes it. And so we're super excited about that because they're
Oh,
so
they will
pretty.
love that.
I'm pumped about that
Good,
gift.
good daddy gift.
As you should be. That's
Something that
awesome.
lasts,
Yeah.
holds
Yeah.
its value.
Yep.
Oh.
That is
Yeah.
All
good.
right. So, anyways, how was your week?
Hey.
Or did he already ask?
That's good.
No,
That's
we were
good.
just
Okay.
talking about shopping and stuff.
Yep.
Awesome.
Shopping. Yeah.
Getting my
No,
wedding
week
ring
was
back. I mean,
was good.
I don't have my engagement ring. I guess I have my wedding ring. But
Which is funny because I need to get the prongs on mine fixed as well.
oh,
It's just that
the
time.
diamond was literally moving,
A,
like
a,
rocking.
a prong fell off. There were only three prongs on hers,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so they had to
yeah, that's
rebuild the
not
whole
good.
thingy. But they did. They're already done.
I think wearing gloves all the time, like in dental hygiene, I should be
Yeah,
taking
that'll
the
do
ring
it.
off more. It probably really strained it. But thankfully, I noticed that the diamond was loose before I lost the diamond, because that would have been sad.
Hmm. I lost mine once.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up and it was gone. And my little sister was visiting with her boyfriend, and we
Oh,
scoured like the whole house. We scoured the bed, like the bathroom, everything. And he found it. It was like upside down on the kitchen counter, so it just looked like a crumb because the back of it doesn't look like the front, you know?
Oh man,
good thing
that's
you hadn't cleaned up
And
the
it was
crumbs yet.
like, right? That's why I don't clean, just in case there's diamonds there.
You know those
Yeah.
little like diamond dig it like things that the kids could dig through stuff and you get like
Yeah.
different rocks and stuff? Bella
Uh-huh.
got a diamond.
Nuh-uh.
It is the
yeah.
tiniest little
Hey,
But
teeniest, but
like
it's
that's
a
okay.
diamond.
of all
Yeah.
those
It's
things
a
that you like
diamond,
never win, those mystery grab backs,
right?
Bella gets one and she gets the diamond. That's like the kind of luck Bella
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
I get the Corporalite, which is petrified dinosaur crap. That's that's what I get.
Hey, you know what you like. It's all right.
That's right. That's right. Make that into
Um,
my jewelry. But anyways, yeah. No,
oh
week
yeah.
was good. We're gonna go on a little cruise for Christmas.
Whole
And
family?
yes.
Awesome.
So it's just a little 4-day one. But we get back on Christmas Eve at like 8 o'clock. So I have to have everything totally ready before we go.
Yeah, before. But that's gonna
So
be so fun. And you
I
won't,
hope so.
I mean, I was gonna say you won't be spending Christmas Eve freaking out, but yeah, you will. You'll be you'll be getting home and then I mean,
And
because
then
Santa
at
probably
least
didn't come
everybody will be
before then.
tired.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
Santa
so
can't come
fun
before
and such
then.
awesome memories though. I'm down for
I hope
that.
so.
I'm down for a little chaos for the memories?
That's where
Yeah.
memories come from.
Yeah.
Memories don't come from order.
No. Yeah.
That is true, huh? If everything's just, I was gonna say orderful. Is that a word?
It is
No.
now. We just
If
watched
every
Wicked a couple times, so and they like
Oh,
to make
sweet.
up
I haven't seen
words.
it yet.
So I think we should start making up words, and I think it is orderful.
Orderful.
Mhm.
And if everything's orderful, no memories are made.
I think
So
orderly is what you're looking
there.
for.
Yeah.
Orderfully.
Uh,
Let's keep going.
orderfully awesome.
Yes.
No, I do like order, but at the same time, you're right. Like it's the off of the regular that creates the memories. So
Welcome
you had the
back
topic
to
today.
this week's Low Picket Fence with Anthony.
Mm,
And
Dun, dun,
Anthony,
dun, dun,
so this podcast is totally based off of one of the most recent Jon Stewart episodes. And I'll link it like in the description because, I pretty much got everything today from just watching that and then wanting to like talk about it because as I was watching it, I was talking to the screen. I was
dun.
That's right. So I sent it to Emily and I was like, can we podcast about all of this? Like just the whole thing. And she was like,
A lot
sure.
of things.
And then because we decided to do that, I told Anthony, I'm like, I need to rewatch that because I want to like take some notes so I make sure I remember like some of the points that I wanted to like touch on. So he was like, well, then can I join? Because I just watched it twice too. And I was like, anytime, always. So yeah.
Okay,
It's a
sweet.
fun set of topics.
Yeah. Oh, fun's
Okay,
right. But
well then
Well, it's
I'll
gonna be
kind of be
fun.
reset.
the
Yeah.
I'll kind of be the moderator then and like interview you both on it and just throw in my 2 cents where I can because
Okay.
that is all. But
So,
anywho,
I mean, that's not very old, but
That's
you
not very
know,
old.
it's the way that
It was free.
yeah. No, it's $50, right?
Well,
Free-ish.
dude, that's like my Christmas tree.
What? It's free?
Um, well, okay, 21 years ago,
Mhm.
um, we were on our way out the door to get our first Christmas tree. Well, our first Christmas tree in Idaho.
Mhm.
And literally on the way out the door, somebody called us and they said, "Hey, we're getting rid of our fake tree. We just got a new one. Do you guys want it?" We're like, "Oh, heck yeah."
Yeah.
Mom's here.
Because we had like two nickels to rub together. So we're like, yeah,
Yeah. That would be
let's
great.
do this. And they're like, it's got a couple good years left in it. So 21 years later, it's still going strong.
That's
Like,
awesome.
Was it pre-lit or
yeah,
do you add the lights to it?
I add the lights.
So that's probably better. I think it's the pre-lit ones that you get so used to it, and one part goes out and you're like, the whole thing's done. But
It's
not
done.
really. Like
It's
the
done.
one we have is a hand-me-down from Anthony's parents, and it has one strand out in the middle, and we just added lights to that. Yeah. So
Add another strand.
uh-huh.
Yep.
I keep getting these wings, so screw it.
Let the wings go.
I like the wings.
You look at this.
Yeah, he's in his 40s and he's
Good.
still going strong on the hair.
I need a haircut as
I'll
well.
That's so
cut
cool.
it tonight. Okay, we'll cut
Oh,
it
you
tonight.
say that
I know.
every day.
And then every single night, it's like,
We do
what if
something more fun.
Yeah,
Then cutting hair, like what?
That's good.
cutting the girl's hair, or you know,
Or lice. Oh my God,
oh
we had
my,
lice. That
yeah,
sucked.
Oh no, you got
yeah,
it, huh?
yeah. But you know, so I gotta go through I did my first lights treatment. I had it done on me when I was a kid, but like being the one to actually take care of it, it's a whole different like beast.
Different everything.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Washing everything, stuffed
mhm.
animals, seeing them come out like as you're combing, it was like uncomfortable.
It's rough. It's rough.
It's gross.
One of my kids got it when they were, it's had to have been like 8 years. But the thing that worked the best for us is we do the little treatments, and then I'd blow dry their hair every day.
Okay.
Mm.
And
So the heat.
I mean, it's, hmm
Okay.
Okay, we can do
yeah,
that.
and it never came back. So I don't know if that is an actual help. I'm not a doctor, but
Yeah.
it never came back. So
The heat, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Plus we have like we got a shampoo to use too. That's like
Preventative.
preventative or
that's good.
whatever for just using for a while after.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we'll
Little
add
tea tree
heat,
oil.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
so
I'm
So
sorry,
anyways,
that's rough.
we have a topic.
yes, and our topic is Jon Stewart's last episode that we watched. So
Okay,
I
so
don't know
are we
how
gonna?
I would sum it up really because he talks about a lot. It's
Mm,
about mostly I'd say political, unfortunately, but you
course.
know, it's
It
just
was
That's not unfortunately, it's the
crazy part
landscape
is
of the time right now.
yeah.
the crazy part is that was just his week summary. That was just the week.
Yeah.
We haven't told. It did just like this is from one clip from his episode for 1 week. Like this isn't even the month
Well,
in
Granted, I
politics.
also did some of my own notes just of thoughts off of it. So I just, you know, I can
Yeah.
go places. But yeah,
Yes.
it's so we're gonna just talk about that. Okay, so I don't even know
It was a lot to
exactly
be
how-
hit with all at once.
Yeah, exactly. At the beginning, the main point I was taking from it was with the whole Biden pardoning his son, like the fact that like Democrats, their whole that was like their claim to morality. You know what I mean? That was their how he said like they respect the system. Like
Follow
Biden.
the rule
So
of law.
for
Yeah.
those who
They
haven't seen the
follow-
clip,
Say what?
I said for those who haven't seen the clip, they're talking about how Joe Biden pardoned his son for what anything that he has done in the past 11 years? Not
Well,
specifically
not just
any
the
one
past
thing,
11
just
years. I thought it
like,
was for in the future, like for the 11 years forward.
No,
I guess
now
I don't
I'm back
understand.
11 years. Anything you have
Oh,
done in the
okay.
past 11 years that you
yeah,
haven't done,
you
Oh,
can't do
like
forward because
yeah, you can
that's
because he's trying
you
to
can
do
pardon
that
you
them
do
for
forward.
a preemptive pardon.
and that's for the politicians. So like Hunter gets a regular back 11 years pardon. The politicians who are under Trump's radar, in Trump's radar, they're getting a preemptive strike. Like when Trump tries to nail you, here's your pardon. Just screw Trump.
Can you do that?
I believe so.
Okay,
But so
interesting.
like, even though Trump pardoned people that we would go and say, hey, that's pretty shady, like I can
Yeah.
honestly understand Biden's pardoning way more than Trump's because Biden's son, like, and also the timing of it. I thought it was
hmm
funny in the clip he talks about when like Trump or not Trump,
It being
sorry.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. Thanksgiving because he had to, you're there with your family and everybody was like,
Uh-huh.
you have the power to do this. Why aren't you
Why would you
doing it?
not do this?
So,
Yeah.
and I can see any family fighting for, their sibling because sometimes you'll do things that aren't exactly, I don't know, when you see other
Yeah,
people
when
going outside of the law all the time and knowing that they're willing to do that, leaving him open to that potentially as Trump takes office was probably pretty daunting or scary because Trump, he's repeatedly said they're gonna
nail him to the wall.
Gonna go after his opponents.
yeah, the enemy within. That's what I
Yeah,
was
they're
looking
gonna go
for.
after
Like,
everybody. And I'm on
hmm
the I'm on this. I agree with those who say that Hunter Biden was a political witch hunt. They were trying to get him charged because he misfilled the gun form and like they were really trying, and I think it was just to hurt Biden. I think that I'm on the side that when the people who say it was a political witch hunt.
that charge, yes. I don't know his other charge, but that one,
I think it was
like
tax evasion was the other one,
tax evasion. Okay,
which is not good,
not
but
good,
not sentencing to prison.
but not
But
something
if,
that literally our sitting
yeah,
presidents also haven't done because they all kind of live
yeah, I was
outside
going to
of
say
that.
if you applied the same logic, the same principles to everyone across the board,
They
he
would
would definitely
all
not have been the only one. I'm
exactly.
not standing up for Hunter Biden. I'm
Me
not
neither.
a
I don't
huge
stand up for
fan,
any of
but
them. None of them speak for us. None of them are us.
I'm standing up for
mhm.
Hunter Biden. I think they ran him through the ringer, and I just don't. I think it was bullshit. So I'm with Joe Biden on pardoning him because it was like because he was like it's bullshit. It's not like they're just going after him, like they're just doing it to hurt us. So I'm gonna pardon him because
Yeah.
yeah. So I agree. I think political witch, and I agree with Joe Biden.
With me, I
Well, I
think,
think when you,
sorry, you go ahead.
oh, you're good. I just think that when you're that close to the situation, when it's your own family, the lines get blurred really quickly. You see it in all sorts of different groups. When family's involved, it's like you can make excuses for a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
And
I don't
nobody's
know
the villain
whether
in their own story. You're trying to be the hero for
nobody's
your
the villain in
kid.
their own story. And if
Mhm.
you're looking at the good in someone, especially someone you love, your own
Mhm.
family, it's really easy to sweep stuff under the rug. I don't think it was necessarily a good thing. I think uh I don't know. I think there's some things that Hunter could learn from, a little discipline, even though he's a
Totally,
grown ass
totally. But
man.
you think
But
our justice system is actually going to do that? Our broken justice system?
well, I think if that's the case, we got to fix the system, not
Duh. That's
not
what I'm
find
saying.
where to bend it. But yeah, as far as like was he within his rights to pardon his son? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because
if he
especially if you
wasn't,
were
it would
okay
have been
with
illegal.
Trump
So,
pardoning the people that he pardoned, what is
His
his
well,
son-in-law?
I want to be,
daughter's
yeah, you got to
father,
be super, yeah,
daughter-in-law's father.
And then
exactly.
he is appointing them to his cabinet.
Yeah, he's
So,
representative to France.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
like
Yep.
it's almost like I can see with Biden, like at this point, because he was like, I will follow the rule of the law, I'll follow the rule of the law. But then when Trump won and Trump saying we're gonna get rid of the enemy from within, and he just, he treats everybody like an enemy. Everything is like he's somehow gonna be some hero. He's gonna fix everything. He's got all the answers and he knows who's bad, but it's not him. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that Biden was scared, honestly, and I would be scared too. Like, even in this clip, not Jon Stewart, but the other anchor who does a little clip on it, like jokes about like maybe he'll be coming out for me for political satire. And I'm like, me personally, I speak out openly
Yeah.
against him. And he's a man like Trump, who's who I'm talking about. He is
Yeah.
he seems to be a pretty big fan of like Putin and Kim Jong-un and, like other
Yeah.
people who will go after their own people for just speaking out against them. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, that's pretty scary. Like, I can see why Biden would do that.
That is really scary.
Only thing is, as Jon Stewart said, yeah, I could get that, like, he's going to misuse the power, but you're only doing it for your son when you need to do something for all of us. Taking care of
Yeah.
yours against the corruption, I get it because you take care of yours, but you're in a position of power. Like, if you're going to do some broad things to, like, take care of some things, it should be
Mhm.
for all of us, I think.
Well, hopefully we can maintain our freedom of speech and
I worry about that.
yeah.
Yeah. But I
I
mean,
think there's enough people that understand it that because it's really easy to be for freedom of speech if you're the one talking. You know what I mean? But when
mhm.
you have other people that are talking against you or like pissing you off or making you feel bad, it's easy to be like, you can't let them do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see,
So
I'm okay with people arguing me because I like to argue back. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about
yeah.
this. Like,
And
arguing
none of
doesn't
us
have to
is,
be it's a learning process pretty much for me.
yeah. And none of us is exempt from being like offended or, you
Yeah,
know,
we all have feelings.
hurt with words, I guess. I mean, it makes you an asshole if you're hurting people with words, but it's not illegal.
Yeah,
Anyway,
anyway, indeed.
that is all.
So why do you
So
think he got an 11-year pardon? Do you think there's something we don't know about from 11 years ago?
I love the way
it is
John
a
said it.
very specific.
Like that's a specific number. We're like, we can go back 10 years. Better make it 11. And I was,
Better make it
why
11.
didn't he just make it 50?
He-
Because fuck it. Like you
Yeah,
Yeah,
already,
like
right.
11's weird. If you had made it some even number, like
15.
15,
like
you
let's
know?
say how I don't know how old Hunter
If-
Biden is, but let's say he's in his 50s, he should have made the pardon for 60 years back. Screw it.
Yeah,
Like his whole life.
just do it across the board. Yep,
Yeah.
for real. Because 11 years makes you want to go back 11 years and be like, what were
Yeah,
you
what
doing?
the hell happened 11 years ago?
Hey, Hunter.
Yeah. All right.
11 years.
Yeah.
11.
So another thought I had regarding Trump's tweet where he said like, "Oh, you're going to pardon your son? What about the January 6th people?" Like that's even kind of the same. Like, "Oh, you're going
But
to
okay,
pardon your child? What about the people I fueled up to overthrow our government and then took no accountability for? What are you going to do with them?"
what?
Hmm?
People that
Okay,
committed
this is
treason.
something, yeah, there's once again, the famous quote from my husband is, there are levels to this shit. Like
Yes. Yes.
I
it's
love that
one
quote.
does not, I do too. I use it all the time.
Because
But
it's so true. Nothing is black and white.
it's so true. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, that is something being a bystander from this election.
Mhm.
It happens so often on both sides. Somebody brings up a good point. Like, here is a good point. Can we talk about this point? And all of the comments are, oh yeah, well, what about when these guys did it? Oh yeah, well, what about, can we stick to the point? Like, let's focus on the one question because we throw things all day long. Both sides have done sucky things. Like,
Yes.
have misbehaved and been extremely stupid. Like, stop, oh yeah, well, what about this? Oh yeah, well, what about this?
Hmm.
Let's focus, laser focus, fix the
They have
problem.
no focus. They are just playing. Like they're
I'm talking
literally
to
like
everybody,
partying.
everybody.
All of them, all the politicians, because you have to do certain things to get in that position. You basically, it's like you need to go to parties and functions with people with a lot of money and get them to back you. So like it sounds
You
really
have to
fun to be a
schmooze.
politician, honestly. I get to go out and like
Well,
schmooze and like have a good time and then like they're not working hard. They're not doing a damn thing. They
but then
don't
you're
even
beholden to the people
it
who schmoozed you. They can come back and be
yeah,
like,
and they're
hey,
only beholden to those people and
we,
not us, which are they're basic they're they are supposed to be us. They're supposed to be our voice.
yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
all,
but it's really hard to say no to the swag bag of life. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
uh,
it's true.
it's it's like, would you like to party with all of these people that you know and love that are famous for a week on my private island? Or do you want to pass this law? Like, it's appealing
Exactly.
to the human nature side uh
Yeah.
Do
of
your
people.
job.
It just,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can
Who wants to do
party.
their job? Is it
Yeah.
really that important?
Well, maybe we need to
You're just one
find, like, we need
guy.
to create a whole new government outside of them. Let's like hold us a completely separate vote, and I will run for it. I don't want money anymore, period. I think it is literally the root of all evil. I want to work in a bartering system. Like, I just don't want it to be a factor because I see the way that money has corrupted everything because it's a desire for more money that leads up, like, that skews the, like, all of our goals. Like, when it becomes profit
Yeah.
over people, over planet, over everything, like, we're headed for a crash. We're headed for death. Like, I'm not part of that. So in the new election, vote me for, I don't know, somebody who just gets to be on the committee that like funnels in
Well,
all the taxes and says, what do you guys really want to do with this? Because they are too busy, our politicians are too busy partying and
schmoozing, trying to get
schmoozing.
reelected.
And every time it's like, oh, we need to have a meeting or whatever, like, it's like, we couldn't get everybody together. Oh no. And it's like, no, that's your fucking job. We have to go
That's
to
you
work
had
every
one job.
day and you're traveling and schmoozing and you can't make it to where the meetings are and we can't get everybody voting. Like, that's some bullshit. That's so stupid. Like,
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so like, just real quick, just aside to another one, the martial law coup, right?
uh,
They freaking jumped fences and pushed through military to get and meet, right? And our politicians, we can't get them to meet on anything. Like we can't get them. They got up at
Yeah.
it happened at 11 o'clock. The answer was 11
are
o'clock.
we
So at
talking
11
about in
o'clock,
South Korea?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
the politicians in South Korea that I know it's not House or Senate. I don't remember the term for their governing body, but they freaking 190 of them got up at 11 o'clock, said, no, 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 fuck you. Got to the building, pushed through military. The military wasn't being assholes or anything. They
Yeah.
were kind of, but anyway,
They were just there, but
they got their shit done and told him like, no, you're backing off on the martial law thing. So that this is an example of
yeah,
another country versus ours. Just like
Yeah. Like,
that was
we
awesome.
yeah.
need to become the government again. Like,
Hmm.
I don't value what they're doing for us right now anymore. Like, they're
Yeah.
just, I don't know.
Well, there needs to be it's become so expensive to get elected to any of the high up positions
Hmm.
that you have to have backers and you have to have people who can support you through it. And if we could find a way to maybe temper that down, that would be great. Like, I've thought of like we put our candidates forth and then they each get a designated amount of money to use and you use that money. Like, I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
this spending millions and millions of dollars, you have to make promises and you have to schmooze and you have to, do favors for people in order
Mhm.
to get this money to get elected. And it just creates this
Yeah.
vicious cycle
And it's
of
like, okay,
stupidity.
if we're gonna approve that, then you have to approve this. Like, they do a tit for tat thing instead of
Quid
it.
pro quo.
Yeah.
Quid
Yep.
words.
You play the game.
I hate the game.
Yeah. Well, I hate the game. Yep. And a lot of the times people need help being, I always want to say altruistic, but that's not necessarily the word I'm looking for.
You know,
They need help to not be assholes
I don't
or
believe that
greedy.
anymore.
Like people, you don't think so?
No, I don't believe
Like
it anymore.
people,
I think our religion
I'm
makes us
talking like,
assholes, and it made me an asshole. And I feel like I care about things so much more now. Like, it gave me so many answers that allowed me to make excuses for the way that I thought about other people and I treated other people. And like, kids,
yep,
the whole original sin, blah, blah. I don't believe in any of that. Because kids have shown us time and time again, or people with disabilities who never age out of that mentality, they are so good. They are so kind. They are taught hate. They are
there's a
taught greed.
lot of
You know what I
goodness.
mean? Like, they are so
Yep.
genuine. Our system teaches them this. So I don't think that people wouldn't be altruistic if I think that people aren't because they're
Well,
taught not to be.
I think when you get to those high up positions and you get to be like the the leaders of huge companies that deal with millions upon millions of dollars, and people are basically yes men around you and telling you that your shit doesn't stink and that you are like that you can do no wrong, that you kind of buy into it.
Oh yeah,
And
they
then
believe their
like
own bullshit. I know that. They
and it
think
becomes less
everybody
about the
thinks they're doing the best
individual and it,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
And sometimes we need a little help. Everybody needs checks and balances and reminders that, hey, we're all in this
that's
together. All the
fair.
people who work for you are helping you. They are an asset to you. Let's treat them well. Let's I want to say let's all rise together, but that also sounds like communism. So that we don't want to do that either.
Well,
But
here's the
sometimes we
thing.
do need
But
help to.
here's the thing. Like communism has been so demonized because when it was tried before somewhere, it failed. Guess what else is
Well,
failing? Capitalism. Do you want to demonize capitalism? You can agree with parts of capitalism and parts of communism. Like we don't have to, we got to stop being so black and white because we do want the common good. You know what I mean? Like we can take aspects of
mhm,
each of these, but people, it's like people are just too fucking black and white on issues.
yeah.
I mean, and it's
My
just
yeah.
not reality. Like that's like a prefab
Well, I've
made up
a
thing in your mind that it's so different.
mhm. Well,
Mm.
but I have massive problems with communism though, so we
I'd like
can
to talk
get
about it
into that.
though.
I also have problems with capitalism, which is
Mm-hmm.
I hate
what I was just
capitalism.
talking about. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I
I
know you
think,
also generally very much will be like, hey, I don't, when it comes to capitalism, you have a lot more of a like, ooh, I see the value in that. Whereas with me, when it comes to communism and socialism, I'm like, ooh, I see the value in that. You know what I mean? Like, so I
yeah,
think they all hold value. It's just to say one
it
is the end
can.
all be all is literally stupid. It's ignorant. They're like, we have to be able to
Yeah.
see all kinds of different types of things as true.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's if 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 capitalism worked, if you take out, I don't know how to say it.
The need for
If
it
it was really
constant growth, the need for more profit and never
no,
being
no, no.
happy
A
or
lot of
content
people
at a
have a
certain
lot of
level.
well, a lot of people have a lot of growth mindset, and it it's what motivates them is to like to keep
Yeah, but there
moving,
needs
keep
to be a
building, keep
level or
growing.
you're just a cancer.
Um, Depends on how you do it.
No,
If
infinite
you were
growth
just
is
growing,
literally not possible. Infinite growth. There has to be a
okay,
level.
but if you're growing and you're
Mhm.
bringing up those beneath you at the same time, you're not just
Uh-oh.
like modern day slavering. My words are wording today.
Yeah,
If you're not just creating modern day slavery where you pay people a pittance to make you rich, right? If we're
which is
all
where we
going
are
together and you're
right now
creating
in
a great life for the
society.
people,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you're actually using the income that you're getting and it kind of it's not trickle down or filters down, but
I
it
I totally get
actually
what you're
does get to
saying
the people
though.
below you,
Yeah, there
then it
there are good
creates
things that we could
a
come from that. Like if
utopian
you're a Dolly
society.
Parton or something like that.
Hmm.
Dolly
Yeah.
Parton has a
It's
lot,
just
but
when
shares almost
it's
as much as she has.
Flavor Flav
yes.
sponsors Olympic
Yeah.
Games. I thought that was cool.
There,
Which
but
is
But when
though
you
that even still is
mhm.
exactly the same as me or you even advocating for healthcare for all and things like that. It's just
And I'm
that
okay with that.
exactly, but that's socialism. You know what
That
I
is
mean?
there
So
is
to be
aspects
against
of
capitalism, I
socialism
mean,
to
to be against any one of them, I guess altogether is also ignorant. To be 100% for one,
well,
ignorant. To be 100% against one, ignorant. Because there's valuable aspects of it. We just have to be able to change and grow and stop doing things once we realize, oh, this is a net negative for society.
yeah. The problem with communism is you skip over some necessary growth. Like when you're learning and you're building and you're growing, there are levels to this shit. Like
Mhm.
when you're just starting out in college, you're learning things and you're growing and you have to go through some pain to get the knowledge into your skull and try to learn
Mhm.
how to use it in a useful way, right? And then
Yeah.
you go through your first years of work and you have learning experiences there and you grow. And like when you when you meet an electrician that's been doing it for 50 years or something, he's got so much knowledge and so much, that he's
Mhm.
good at what he does. He knows his shit. Like
Mhm.
you can't just take somebody who's just out of, just in college and be like, okay, this 50-year veteran of being an electrician is making this much money. This guy should do it too, and like bring him to the same level. There's growth that needs to happen. And with
For
communism, a
sure.
lot of that is just given, and it doesn't work well because
But here's
people
the
can't
thing,
function.
that was given by people's wages. You know what I mean? When that electrician started, the wages he was given, despite it being hard, were allowed him to have a good life. Now they're wanting to pay
Yeah.
those same electricians, like new electricians, slavery
Pittance.
wages. So
No, I will agree with that
yeah,
wholeheartedly.
exactly. So it's just it's like you don't like aspects of communism. I don't like aspects of communism either, but I'm not against communism because I'm for the common good. You don't like aspects of socialism.
Yeah.
There are certain aspects I maybe don't love because we do need that we do need hard things in our lives. We do need to learn and grow, and having everything give to you. Like we've made literally a society right now, I feel like, that's struggling with mental health because they weren't given the tools to deal with things, because societally we thought we'd like dealt with them. So like we didn't teach foundations anymore. We're like, we've already taken care of that. So go ahead and start learning all this next level shit without giving any type of foundation. That's why we see such bad oral health, such bad health. Like just overall, we are not doing a good job teaching basic things.
Yeah. Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said like the average wage of somebody 50 years ago, you could be a janitor and have a nice house and put your kids through college and have all the basic necessities of life. And that is definitely not the case now. And it really, really ticks me off to see companies like Walmart, when their CEOs are taking home $1 million bonuses, like multi-million-dollar bonuses, and yet they are like the #1 employer of people on food stamps and welfare. So it's like, maybe you shouldn't be able to take home bonuses if your employees are struggling to make ends meet. Maybe that money should be.
You having success is not the company selling more. You having success is having all your employees succeed too. And they think they're some kings at the top. People should just be grateful for the jobs. And it's like,
yeah,
no,
that is modern day slavery.
It is, and that's what we have. Like it's gotten so stupid. Like I have all these patients like talking about nobody wants to work or this or that. And I went to this store and there's only one person
Nobody
working.
wants to work.
And I'm like, I know so many people looking for jobs right now. So many people. They all want to work. Guess what? The companies don't want to staff because when they can run it with less people, they make more money. So you get mad at the people. You never get mad at the corporation. So they quit their jobs because they're like, I just can't take this. And then you wonder, why don't we have people serving us? You know?
Yeah. If people are quitting en masse, there's usually a reason.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I don't think
I will
many people are just like, there are a lot of people out here struggling, looking for jobs. I have one friend who like he has the vehicle, but the other friend already has the job at Burger King. So he needs him to like get him there. But he's like, but if I had a job, then I'd have a reason to go there and I want a job. And they're like, oh yeah, we want to hire you, but we have to wait for like the approval. You know what I mean? So it's just like you have a willing employee. You have people complaining you don't have enough. Like it's going on everywhere. Like it's just maddening that you can see it with your own eyes, but they listen to like the screen in front of them, tell them a different story, and they're like, that must be the truth. That must be the truth.
Yep.
What they're saying, not what I could like literally if I just opened my fucking eyes and looked around me see. Sorry.
Yep. Why are you sorry?
I'm sorry that I get so mad about it.
You really checked off.
I'm not.
I did. I always track off of my notes, but I have the notes here to help me come back. So where am I?
Okay, so
I'm about right
what's
here.
next on your list?
Done right here where you were saying how they want to get rid of this.
We get a little off track sometimes, Anthony.
This one really pisses her off. The next note.
Okay. Because it's also a lot of like kind of what we were just talking about. But so
let's get
the
you
next
good and
note I
mad.
had was like, so pretty much to sum up the Democrats and Republicans, this is how like Jon Stewart basically said it. He was like, so Democrats believe in systems, like they're flawed, but they're valuable. So like, let's find a way to like use these systems. And the Republicans are more like, just get rid of systems. Like that's why Social Security, Obamacare, things like that are up for. So versus seeing them as any type of value, they are just saying, like, without anything to replace them, they're just saying,
Just let it go.
let's get, yeah, exactly. So that is definitely maddening, because why people are so afraid of socialism. I think most people don't realize, okay, so stop driving on roads that aren't toll roads. Stop calling
there
the
are always
police.
aspects.
Stop. It's our whole life. We do have a bunch of systems. That's how we all work communally. And when they cut them, like, okay, so this might be where I'm going to share, that TikTok I made so that I could show you something. I saw a meme about Elon Musk talking about him posting about an extinction level event. I don't know. So I went to check and see, okay, is this real? And lo and behold, it was that he did retweet it and, say, yep. So him being Trump's like right-hand guy right now. And then this is a little cookie poops to me.
There's this kind of thing that happens in biology called evolution. And a lot of people think evolution is this continuous process, but it's not. Evolution is this process by which there is some significant growth for a period of time. And then there is an extinction event or an external force that causes what ultimately becomes what's called punctuated equilibrium. So the whole kind of system resets, and then the healthier, stronger species survive and they grow and they persist. And if you look at the first chart, Nick, that I pulled up, this will just show you guys past extinction events. Large amounts of biomass over the past 500 million years get wiped out when these extinction events occur. And then evolution occurs because the species that can survive the extinction event persist in the environment and they grow. And that's how evolution kind of actually takes place, is there's an external force that changes what survives and what doesn't. It's kind of a testing force. If you look at federal spending, and this is a crazy link, but here's federal spending over the last couple of decades. And I would argue that many of the agencies, much of the bureaucracy, many of the jobs created, many of the spending programs, many of the operating models, many of the behaviors can kind of be viewed as a species or species within this ecosystem that have kind of grown a lot over the last few decades. And I think what Trump's mandate was by the people, and people don't want to hear this and they don't like it, but his mandate was to be kind of the extinction event. And whatever agencies, whatever operating processes, whatever individuals, whatever bureaucratic systems exist within the federal government that can withstand the scrutiny of the individuals that Trump is going to put in charge of each of these agencies, that they can survive and they can come out the other end, there is certainly some degree of strength and resilience and hardiness. This is going to bring in the most disruptive force that federal agencies have ever seen. And the intention with Trump isn't to find some person to keep running things the way they have been run in the past. His mandate from the people who elected him, based on the message he put out there, is to do the opposite, which is to go in and be as disruptive and damaging and destructive as possible. And whatever comes out the other side will be stronger, will be harder, and theoretically will be, more resilient. And I think that that's the event that's underway. The intention here isn't to keep things running the way they have been running, but to really fundamentally test the systems, and test the systems with the most challenging oppositional forces the systems have ever been tested by, which is the candidates or the individuals that he's putting in charge of each of these agencies. This is going to be kind of an extinction level event that Trump's decisions on who he's putting in place, I think, are going to drive an outcome on the other end that's going to make the government look very different. And I'm not going to sit around and say this person's good, this person's bad, because I don't think the point is to find someone that's, quote, qualified to do the job. The intention is actually quite different. We cannot continue the way we have been with respect to federal spending, to federal spending, bureaucracy, and inefficiency in the federal government. And so something has to happen. And if this is the path by which this gets resolved in the limited window that's in front of this particular administration, which is probably 2 years, maybe 4, maybe this is what has to happen.
God, I have to get my thoughts again, because now I'm trying to rethink through that, because that's basically, he. Help me get there on this. What is he saying? The evolution is basically
extinction level,
a mass extinction thing, but it is,
and those who survive become the next evolution.
Exactly, those who survive become the next evolution. So who's going to survive when what you're doing for these mass level extinctions are cutting the social programs?
I have double thoughts on this.
I would like to hear them.
And you're probably not going to like it, but
That's okay because
I am actually
Mhm.
kind of excited, and I'm hesitantly
Okay.
excited about this because just when you're talking about government programs and things, because we've gotten to a point in a lot of systems where we're not getting anything done. There's so much bureaucracy. People have hired more people to do their job, to do more people,
Oh yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
down the line, down the line. Homelessness is a huge example of this. I was looking this up. I'm gonna see if I wrote it down here. Okay. So spending on homeless in New York, right?
Mhm.
20, I don't see the date. Anyway, $3.96 billion.
Okay.
Do you know what you can do in one city, even as big as New York City, with almost $4 billion?
What
Like
would
you
they do
could,
with it? Line
no,
their own
what could they do with
pockets?
it, right?
They wouldn't give it to us
Well,
in any other meaningful way, but
About $100,000 of that will make it towards the homeless, and the rest will be feeding the politicians.
yeah.
that is exactly right. You
Uh-huh.
have a line of bureaucracy that takes all of it, and then piss poor amount gets put toward the problem, period.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with them going in and saying, like, kind of like Elon Musk did with Twitter, just like, prove to me that your job is worth us paying for. Show me what you do that's important. And if it's not, you're being cut. Do it. Holy crap, do it. Get rid of all the bureaucracy, cut it down to the minimum, and get this money going where it needs to go. That I would stand behind 1,000,000,000%.
Okay. So we stop doing that, and then where do you think the money needs to go? If not to, like, I know the bureaucracy is there and it's not going to the right place. So what do we do to take
Yeah.
care of the homeless population?
Well, then you have a smaller group of people that doesn't have so much bureaucracy in the way, and they get together and they say, okay,
I would
so we
love
need
to
to,
believe this if the church wasn't already there prepared to catch us all, and it wasn't the plan of Project 2025 that they take away the social systems and then make everybody
social
dependent on
systems.
churches again, which bring us back in line with the more conservative values, which then enforces their values on us, and I will leave.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but that
Well,
you're painting that picture to me
no,
with
I
what
can
you're
see why
saying.
you think that way.
Because it's
I
true.
can definitely see. Huh?
Because it's the truth.
Well,
I know you don't want to like you don't want to give them the power that they have or something. You don't want to accept that it's being abused in
no,
such a horrible way.
I think you are 100% right there. I think it is being abused, but I think
Yeah.
we have a lot more chance of actually getting things done if we have less bureaucracy behind it.
See, and I think the bureaucracy is just going to be, or they won't maybe have to have bureaucracy, so they'll be able to help people. But in order to get that help, you will have to
Do you think they'll have to
succumb
go
to
through the churches?
Yes, exactly. And so I would rather work on fixing a system that we control and get rid of people up there. Like I want a complete overthrow.
Yeah.
But Trump and his cronies, like he said he was going to like clean the swamp, you know?
Mhm.
And what has he filled that swamp with? Look at his cabinet picks. I
It's
know
all
Matt
swamp.
Gaetz already got
It's all swamp.
ousted. It's literally all swamp, but it's not just that. Like, what did it say? He said it somewhere, like something about, I think it was like 14 billionaires recommended for his cabinet right now. So the wealthiest, it would be the wealthiest administration in US history.
Oh, great.
Exactly. So the choice for him, he lied to make people think that, because for him, I truly believe he really doesn't even see the church as a, like, this is my new stance. I don't think he really sees the power of the people with Project 2025 because he doesn't see it as anything that affects him. He sees it as like, that's a church thing and I'm not really church. You know what I mean? Because like one of my best friend here, Jamie, I feel like that's how she is. Like she's a Trumper and it's all for the financial aspects. I assume at this point, I don't understand because she doesn't really talk about it. But like she didn't grow up in religion or with any of those type of things. So she's just like, oh, well, he doesn't care about that. Like he's letting them do that because they fund and stuff like that, but he doesn't care about that. And I think he is going to let them do what they want because that's not what he cares about. So what he cares about is access to our oil. And our gas is going to go down and the economy is going to get better as we destroy our world. Like, and our bodies. We're dying because we use it for oil and then what? Petrol, and then it becomes plastic and then it becomes like things to stretch our food longer. Like we use it over and over and over and we're literally killing ourselves for what? Cheaper gas? We're killing our world for what? Cheaper gas? Because that's all he cares about. He's just the big man on top in the new business that is like, you know, in the world now the countries are the businesses and he now gets to lead this business and he gets access to how we take care of that. So he just loves power and being in control of things. So I just don't even think he cares what they do with the church because it doesn't affect him. And he doesn't care.
Well, the question I have for you is, do you feel like it's have you ever heard the quote, the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's kind of a symbiotic relationship where they're both
they're a
kind of
symbiotic
like,
relationship.
it's not,
they're
it's
using
not the
him.
fact that
He doesn't
for
care about them.
2025.
He doesn't see them as even a threat because it literally will have no bearing on his life if they change rights for women, if they take away things for minorities, if like LGBTQ, like it affects him in no way. Like you just, why would he care? So he's like, you know what? Honestly, you know better because that's your thing. You know the church. And so he doesn't even, it's fine. He doesn't care. He's running a business and he will run that business just like a business. And the church will take care of the people.
Great.
Great. And the people in the church I still hold are good. But the control of the church, the narrative, the story that I just don't care about or believe, like if we could have everything that the church, like the community of church and all of that, like I don't want to just oust the leaders of our government. I want to oust the leaders of our churches. Like, and I don't want them harmed. I just want them to step down and say, you know what? We need to like rethink some things and reorganize because when things aren't working, we should work to fix it. But instead we just keep putting band-aids everywhere. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're 100% right.
That was probably
there's only so many.
loud.
I know the microphone's on the like bar, so that was probably like really loud. Sorry, Jesse. Might have been shocking.
No, you're great. But yeah, there's only so many band-aids you can put on a severed leg before you're like,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just honestly
maybe.
scared. Like I'm honestly scared that I just it's ridiculous. Hey.
Well, I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm glad. I'm really glad for that. And I'm gonna keep working like I'm optimistic because that's what I do. Everything always works out for me because I keep working for it to work out for me. Because when you hear my stories, it obviously always hasn't worked out for me. But I just keep growing and you know, I can even see right now with me and Anthony, like I am so happy you lost your jobs and went off your meds. Even though it's been really, really hard because I feel like I'm getting my husband back and I feel like we're going to play and we're going to have less, you know, we're going to lose this. You want to see how beautiful it is here today? But we already had this, like we've already experienced this and we're always going to have this experience and these memories. And whatever we do, be it in America or Italy, which is don't I look like I could be in Italy?
Yeah.
Yes. And I would come visit you and we would play in Italy. Let's go.
Very fun.
So
I got family there.
Yeah.
I took a year of Italian in college. Let's do this, shiz.
I failed Italian in college. I had to withdraw from the class.
That wasn't great.
I couldn't. Well, she didn't speak a lick of English. The teacher didn't speak a lick of English. So like there was a communication barrier. So we couldn't understand her and she couldn't answer our questions. Like it was like they took the Italian exchange student and let her teach a class to pay her bills, and which is great, but I did not learn a thing from her. So I quit Italian. Then I tried French, which was awful. So yeah, no language skills.
Yeah, you did
that's okay.
Duolingo
just
for
grab
Japanese
your Duolingo.
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, because he was watching a lot of anime.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like if we were immersed in it, that's how you really learn it anyways. Like I work with a lot of people who speak Spanish and like I had my friend the other day was like, oh man, like I wish they would stop speaking Spanish so much. I want to know like what they're talking about. Because people always worry like they're saying something and I'm like, oh man, I have a completely different take. I'm always trying to like figure it out. I'll hear a word and I'm like, I get so excited when I just hear something I recognize. I'm like, Ocho, hey, over here. Like I got it.
I know what that is.
Like,
right?
The more I
Yep.
hear, I just want to like recognize it. But I think if we lived there, we'd learn it, you know? You always
Yeah.
will adapt. You just have to not be afraid to put yourself in the position to adapt.
Yep. Yep. So I'm all for Italy. Go, and I will follow. Let's let's go play.
So a couple other things I wanted to touch on for Biden.
Yeah.
So
Keep going.
other things that like are making me mad with him now because just so many changing tunes and stuff like that. And it's just, continuing the
I
whole
kind of
like
okay.
two sides of one coin type thing. Okay, what?
Well, pause for 1 second.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or after the election, did you kind of forget he was president?
Oh, totally forgot he was president.
Because
100%.
I was just, yeah. Anyway, that was just a weird phenomenon. Like, wait a
I was
second.
like, he's still president? Oh,
How
man.
can he pardon people? He doesn't even go here. Like,
Yeah. Oh man. So
mm,
like the things that he's flip-flopped on outside of the
yeah.
pardoning, the with the relations with Saudi Arabia and
Okay.
he at first called them a pariah,
Mhm.
and Trump called them out too, like they murdered someone, right? I can't remember
It was a
exactly.
journalist.
It was a journalist, yeah. So
Oh yeah.
just, controlling things. But then there's video of him fist pumping the guy. Like there cannot be like
Maybe it was an
there is
angry
no
fist
amount
bump
of
and we just
okay with
didn't
that you
know.
should be. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, like it sucks because I knew you sucked and I never, it's more that side of the aisle that I fall on that I feel like would want to try to fix the systems we have. But I mean, I'm here for tearing it down. It just sucks the way I think that Trump is going to tear it down is going to bring us back to a different time in human rights where because the countries that
Well, I
they look
don't
up
think
to are controlling their people and they're doing better because their people can't speak up and say they're not.
Yeah.
So they just get used to it. Like the women
You-
who can't speak out,
Mhm.
like they'll just get used to it and find ways to survive in it, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean it's right.
Well, the last thing you want is, I should have like maybe put a disclaimer of this. In World War II, Hitler had what was called the Night of Long Knives, where he basically just gathered his armies together and maybe that's the wrong word. Anyway, gathered his people together and just killed every political leader that disagreed with them.
Mhm.
So that we do not want. Opposition is a good thing.
Do you not
Having
believe
two
that
sides
Trump is going
is a
to do
really good
that?
thing.
He's literally saying he's going to do it, and that he got the Supreme Court to rule that no sitting president can be charged with anything. So he said he already got it in place
Yeah.
so that he can get away with it, and literally saying he's going to do it.
Yeah, and we knew this before the
Yeah.
election, and knowing that and not actively voting against that, even if the other side fucking sucks, still is like, yeah, I can't understand. I just can't understand how you
Super frustrating.
not see the danger, like for someone to like be like, I couldn't vote for them, and it's like, well, why could you vote against that though? You know what I mean? Can't you see that's bad?
Yeah.
Like
There was a lot.
I saw this. I think I shared it with you the other day. She's like a history major or something. It was like, oh my God, I wish I didn't know
shocking.
history right now. She's like,
Oh,
I
yep.
wish I didn't know this. And she's like, and she was just talking about all the different comparisons about things right now to how like he used Hitler's playbook because it worked and everybody
seen
fell
that.
for it again. And so now like people are volunteering, like Texas, they volunteered to have like a huge facility and people are volunteering to help to start a place to keep the migrants as they come in or as we're ready to deport them. So when they start grabbing them up, they have a place to put them. Doesn't that sound a lot like maybe like an internment camp?
The Japanese internment camps that
Exactly.
we had. Yeah.
We knew
that's
that
worked
before
well
the
throughout
election.
history.
He said it before the election. How, like, you know what I mean? This is not
Yep.
new information. So it's like to not actively vote against that at this point is like, that's what people did in Germany. That's what they did.
Yep.
So here it comes, guys. You're welcome. You get what you asked for.
Great.
You don't want social programs? Literally, stop driving on roads that aren't toll roads. Stop calling 911. Like, don't take advantage of any social systems. Like, you pull
Homeschool
yourself
your
up
kid
by
with
your
your own
bootstraps
system.
and get your shit done, or go to church.
Go to church.
I'm sorry,
Good gravy.
but don't go to church
Nope.
and become
Stop
a brain
apologizing.
rotted lemming. because
Mhm.
accepting that story is so limiting and stupid. We can be so much more and so much better. We have the capability. Okay,
Yeah.
the other thing that I want to talk about with Biden is the border. Like how he actually
Okay.
flip-flopped on that too. Like he said, you know, we're a safe haven. We want to be a safe haven. And that makes us feel like, okay, good. Someone and then as it got closer and his numbers went down because people were mad about immigration, he what is it? He started to bar migrants from seeking asylum. Barring people from seeking asylum
Yeah,
is
his whole
not
thing, he had this whole
Seems to
thing
be
on
counterintuitive.
like his whole thing was, we are America. We take in those who seek asylum. We're here for those who seek
Give
asylum.
us your
And then he
hungry
goes,
or
there will be barred from seeking asylum. It's like, okay, that is the exact opposite of what you just said. All right.
so how do we connect those two things? How do we, yeah.
yeah.
I think immigration needs it needs some good solid rules and we need to all abide by them and it needs to be something where people can come to America and
Maybe
abide
make
by
it
rules
easier for
and
them to come to
Mhm.
the agricultural jobs, which is where, you know, to the jobs, like if they're willing to come to those
Any
jobs and
jobs.
literally can't get, I know any job they could do, but agriculture is very, very important for us. And so
Oh,
many
trust
people
me,
are
I know.
not willing to do that work. But guess who is willing to do that work? You know what I mean? And that is
Yep.
hard work. So to deny them
hmm
access to this life, like they're not coming in and taking anything from you. Those are lies. Like you can't be getting stuff without a social security number. Like there are certain things that people are believing that it's like I don't know, like you'll believe anything. Tell me you go to church without telling me you go to church.
You really are harping on the church.
I'm sorry because it's making me
It's
mad because I don't want them to have any power over me and mine because I see it as a bad and a negative and it's scaring me, so I'm angry.
and when you've grown up in the church and left,
Yes.
it's
We're like the only
you
people that could
see
actually go
things
to hell.
so differently. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. You
We're the
see
sons
things
of perdition.
so differently. It's
Uh-huh.
crazy.
So
Um,
different. And it's like how I say with like sorry, I'm obviously like very anxious about this because I can't shut the fuck up, but like
no, you're good.
I lost my thought.
No,
Growing up in the church
you're
and
good.
leaving, the way you see things differently from growing up in
It's
the church and leaving.
there's a
It'll
there's
come
a
back.
very
Something
common
Let
about
him
saying.
talk. Sorry.
There's a very common saying, once you've left the church, it's like you can leave the church, but you can't leave the church alone. Like you have to talk about it.
Mhm.
And they're kind of right because you're like, holy crap. Like the best analogy that I have come up with is the Wizard of Oz, where, she goes in the end and there's this great and powerful Oz and he's sent her on all these quests and she's doing everything she can to get back home, because this this huge talking head that's all powerful is like, this is what you need to do. And you're all like, all right, sweet. And you go back to him, and all of a sudden you find out it's this weird ass dude behind a curtain, like pulling strings and like, oh, pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain. And you're like, what the hell is this?
Uh-huh.
Like, what is this?
Exactly.
Like, I
Don't you
I
think
have
that's what they
believed
were trying to
this for
say when they
so
made it?
long.
Most stories are like
You
they're
think
trying
so?
to tell something.
I
And that
didn't
was
know it was
like,
my story though. I watched that a million times.
I know,
Like,
we didn't know.
did you
And
see?
other people don't know to be afraid of it because I remember what I was going to say. How I always say I don't believe in empathy because you cannot empathize with
yeah.
something you haven't personally experienced. So I've been telling people this is scaring me. This is literally making
Mhm.
me really anxious. And the people who didn't grow up with religion to me are like it's not affecting me. Like, I'm sorry.
Why?
And I'm like, yeah, but it should make you anxious. That's the thing. You just don't know because you never lived in it. You don't
hmm
see the power that they hold, the amount of money that they have, just the influence over everything, and the way that all the religions, not just the Mormons, not just ours, they work together more cohesively now because they realize that together they're stronger. They still have their things, but like I think they work together. They work with our government. I like created a hierarchy because I was like trying to figure out where things like fit. Like,
Yeah.
let me see if
Spreadsheets.
I can like show you this. See if you can
Just have it scrolling up
this is
slowly.
yeah. So this is I think this is the hierarchy: old money, religion, new billionaires,
Mhm.
corporations, politicians, celebrities, rich, like quote unquote rich,
Mhm.
upper middle class, poor, and then homeless. And I put on there like the veterans, oh, is this backwards?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
I can
But
read
like,
it.
oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah.
It looks backwards to me. But yeah, addicts, LGBTQ, and then like foster kids that have aged out of the system.
The
Do you
marginalized.
think do you think I got that right? Were you able to
Looks,
even like
yeah,
ingest it? Yeah.
very quickly, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
that seems pretty accurate.
But like everybody, they're all kind of together and they like work together and they kind of like, but I think that's like the politicians are kind of controlled by the corporations, wouldn't you say? The
Hmm.
corporations
Oh yeah.
are held to their shareholders, which, yes, could be anybody, but the big shareholders who they actually answer to, money. And then
Mhm.
religion,
Well,
I would even put above them because people's beliefs supersede actual thought very often. And then old
yeah,
money I
it
put at the
can.
top, even though like me and Anthony debated whether or not it would be religion at the top or old money. But like,
It could be both if old money is
yeah,
religious
because
at
I think
all.
they use each other. Because I was actually like Andrew Tate. I remember a quote, one time him saying something about how he always makes he gives money to the church, and stuff like that. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like you're like, why? What what do they like? You are clearly not like you don't believe any of that. You do not. You believe the things that put you in a position of like power over someone because you need that. Ooh, like
Well,
like
he needs the patriarchal system that
he does, but I'm like,
religion
why are you
puts forth.
like? And he's like, and I give my money to the church because you got to give your money to church, which is like saying like pretty much they are the mafia over like everything. If you're good with them,
Well, and I
you
feel
won't be
like
held accountable because they don't take things to the law. They take care of it themselves, which is why
well,
some
and
of
I
these
think it's
girls
also
are
the
yeah,
yeah, I think
molested.
it's also like kind of the lazy man's way of philanthropy because you're like you don't have to think about what actually needs to get done. You're like, oh, the church knows, so you can just throw your money at
Donate
the
to
church
them.
and they'll
Yep.
do
And
it.
so
Because
you're doing
I
good.
thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But I think I like I like Mother Teresa's version better where she's like, you want to change the world? Go home and take care of your family and your friends.
Yes.
Like,
And she's
go
right,
take care of the people around you.
but that has nothing to do with a god. You don't need a god to do that.
In fact, if you do need a God to do that, you're an asshole.
Pretty much because like those feelings are pretty innate in most of us. And if they're not, then ask for help. There's medication for that.
Little Michael Jordan, please get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Have you seen that?
If you
Anyway,
found it, you could send it to Jesse.
okay.
Okay, so the only other things I had on here, we talked about this at the beginning a little bit, but like what Biden's doing in his last few days in office, how he's giving the
Yeah.
preemptive pardons, like Liz Cheney, which I guess makes sense because, she's a Republican who spoke out against Trump. So giving her a pardon saying, hey, in case he comes after you because here's a pardon. And then like Anthony Fauci, which that makes sense because he was just the doctor in place when the pandemic happened. You know what I mean? There's been a doctor of that kind of all
Yeah.
along. So he was just the doctor who was there. And
I'm not his fan,
I,
but yes.
yeah, but like I would love to hear about that, honestly, because
Yeah.
as somebody who works in healthcare, I know that things can be like corrupted, but like I I don't know. I don't think he's the guy.
He's not he's
I
not the
think
main guy,
no,
but I think he
he's
was.
not the main guy. So, but Trump, because, and even though Trump would know that, because his people, like so many people he got riled up about him, would act on that and like go after him. I can understand the preemptive pardon, but also they said they
Okay.
might not accept it because, you don't want to appear guilty anyways. It's like, why do I need a pardon? I didn't fucking do anything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But also
Yeah.
take the pardon because he has openly said he will abuse his power to take out political opponents, people who don't agree with him. He's not hiding what he's going to
Would
do.
be a scary position to be in.
It would be. So like again, like I kind of get it, but I don't know. They all suck.
Yeah. It would be funny, like to be
Yeah.
like, okay, I pardon you for any murders you've done. And you're like, I haven't done any. Well, good, you're pardoned. Please don't pardon me. I haven't murdered anyone. Like,
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
What if you want to? You know,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
change, Jim.
What if you did and you just didn't know it?
Oh my
Like,
God.
what if they?
Speaking of murdering someone and it not, and it,
Nice
um,
transition.
Yes, please tell.
so he also talked about the CEO of United Healthcare being gunned down and the fact
Oh,
that the public's
yeah.
reaction wasn't maybe what like he would have imagined the public's reaction would have been.
It was not very
Yeah. Did you hear
empathetic.
about what was on the
It was
bullets? I
not
mean,
very,
yeah,
no.
because it was in that video, but I know it's a pretty quick
What
cut.
was,
Is that on the bullets? It said deny,
oh,
defend, depose. So
ah,
I'd be willing to put money on this being someone who had obviously somebody they love had been denied, and then
hmm.
they did made to
And I
defend
think
their
that's,
stuff, and then like somebody put it in a way they're like, yeah, like for an insurance company, a 4-year-old gets like a state late term like leukemia, you deny it first because by the time they can get through all the denials, the kid's died.
yep,
Hmm.
which is
So it's hard to
horrifying.
feel
And there's
bad.
no way to do it on your own.
Yeah,
There's
and
no way. It's,
I don't condone that. I don't think that's what you should do, but I also am not at all surprised that that happened because
yep.
all the people like who are at the top of all these corporations making so much money. Like when you look at I saw like a spreadsheet with the like salaries of the CEOs of the healthcare companies. It's fucking disgusting. Absolutely
Well, and you,
disgusting. Like you're not doing anything that should make that much money. You are not. So that is just literally you stilling and telling people, no, you shouldn't have got sick. I don't
right.
know. Like you're nothing to do with healthcare. So like
Hmm.
I'm
Well,
not gonna
and
be the one to do it, but I am not I don't um deny this guy was totally justified in doing what he did because even though it wasn't that guy's all his fault, like his decisions kill so many people and he will never be held
yeah,
accountable. And that's all the people in positions
yep.
of power. Their decisions harm
Well, he
people and
was
they will
held
never be
accountable.
but not by
He
not
was.
by the system because the system would never have.
Yeah.
He would have been stuck in
Remember,
bureaucracy.
like, okay, I saw people
Well,
releasing the names of CEOs of other healthcare companies.
Oh god.
That was like,
yeah, there's the response alone should tell us a lot of things because most of us would not dream of murder ever. We would not, taking a life is a horrible, horrible thing to do. But the response that came after, I was reading comments upon comments upon comments that are like, oh, well, did they make sure that when they, drove him off in an ambulance that the hospital was a provider, like in network?
I know. Or
Did
like
they
that was
make sure or
pre-existing lead poisoning.
yeah, your claim has been denied
right?
because of your pre-existing lead poisoning, your pre-existing condition of lead
Right?
poisoning. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many comments, and it's all because we've all been there. Like, I shouldn't have to argue with you about healthcare. Like, I pay you so that you will pay these bills, and if you're not doing that, then what the hell are you doing here? Like, why do I pay you so much in health insurance if you're not even gonna do your job?
Yeah, and as a
So,
provider, a different view, I
mhm.
when I diagnose periodontal disease, there is a very much a reason why I need to do 3 to 4 cleanings a year. It is not just for kicks and fucking giggles, okay? But
Yeah, I'm not
insurance has
trying
to
to
dictate they're
pad
only
my,
going to cover 2 a year. Why? We know the treatment for that disease. We know how to take care of
Mhm.
it. But people don't get treatment because you deny it. And as it gets worse and worse and worse,
Yep.
and when they finally, retire and maybe have a little bit of money and time to take care of it, like we're just helping them hang on to strings. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's not the providers. It's the fact that
Mhm.
the providers are, well, number one, it is them too, because now even in medical schools, they're so infiltrated with all the different corporations telling you which products and blah, 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 that like
Mhm.
like when I look at my schooling and when I first started in dental hygiene, it was just a completely different world. But like, and it's not that I think I care about patients more. That's not it. It's just that the system used to care about patients more, and I got to live in that. And now
Mhm.
that the new hygienist I'm working with, they don't have a problem with a lot of things I have. And it's again because they've never seen it a different way. So they're just like, like if they need that, they can always make an excuse. And I'm just like, oh my God, like they're literally teaching
But
you
we've seen
this
it
now.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, how do you fight that when it's being like indoctrinated in all levels. Like, and then I saw this
Yep.
other lady talking about how she went to a high, like high up medical school, but never took a nutritional class. Never, didn't learn the
Oh
associate,
yeah, I saw
a
that.
lot of those things where it's just like, why would we? Because they
It's
just don't want
huge.
you taking the natural like way of doing. I don't know. Like
Well,
everything's
maybe
just
this
so
is
broken.
maybe it's the equivalent of the like French Revolution where the people got really tired of the elites, those at the top, not understanding what they were dealing with. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we just want our health. That's it. We want
Uh-huh.
to be able to go to a doctor when we need to go to a doctor, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to get an x-ray and, you know, get our treatments without having to fight all the time.
Uh-huh.
My sister-in-law just had a baby, and the hospital that she was going to was in her network until like 2 months before she had the baby, and she wasn't notified. And so all of a sudden, her baby that was in the NICU, she was facing like $100,000 for having a baby.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, and there is no freaking reason it should be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Not
United
one.
Healthcare
So,
did something to like with their connection to our doctors up at Shands in Gainesville. And
mhm.
so our Bella's specialist, who she's been seeing for the last 8 years, can no longer see her because they don't work with our insurance company. So unless we want to pay out of pocket, we have to
See?
reestablish. And so we're working on that, but it's just like
Yeah.
they literally know her. They know her body. And it's irregular too. So it's really important that
Mhm.
they know everything because she's an irregular like presentation of this disease, and you're just not gonna work with them
Oh
anymore.
well,
Yeah,
can't work
figure
for
it
them.
out your fucking self. Like it's
Yeah,
just not a good
I
business
can
move for
see.
us.
So you can see why somebody would get mad enough to
A
go after
hundred
the CEO.
percent.
And maybe if the CEOs get, it's not the best way to do it, but maybe if they get terrified for their lives, they'd be like, maybe we should change the
I
system so
wish
people
they
won't get
would
pissed off.
be. I wish they would be, honestly.
Yeah,
But
the
I
problem
also,
is
I'm not going to be the one to go do anything like that. If I hit, like I've ran over small critters, and the way I feel in my stomach, like, and like the way you think about it, like it hurts to hurt something. Like that does not feel
Yeah,
good to
it
me.
does. But if it was my family, if they got denied a care
Mhm.
that could
I
save
could
their
see
life,
myself snapping too and being like, all
I could
right, you took
snap.
their life, I'm going to take yours.
yeah, it's like,
Have
it's
you
the problem is that
have
it's
you seen the
murder. But sorry, but if people were to make it common practice, like when CEOs, like for example, like Aetna or something, they put a cap on
Anesthesia.
anesthesia. There's an
Yeah.
anesthesia cap. So now if a surgery lasts too long, anesthesia now, it's insane. So
That
stuff
got
like that, right?
we rallied, and I'm pretty sure they reversed on that
Okay,
because
cool.
everybody was like,
good.
Right,
what
but
the actual
examples like
fuck?
that. Now, if they made that decision, which is going to hurt a bunch of people, and they got gunned down in the streets, and people were basically like, "Try again," it would stop
Hmm.
happening. Maybe like out of fear of literal
Yeah,
death, they would stop making the greedy choice and do the right thing for once. It would
yeah.
literally take the fear of death to do that. But like, weren't we commenting on how ridiculous companies are? Like, didn't they? You were told me like you were. They literally, after he was gunned down in the streets, they didn't even cancel the meeting he was going to
They
be
Or
at.
it
didn't
wasn't
cancel the
canceled till like
meeting. They just
9:30 or
stepped
something.
over him. They stepped over him to get to the meeting, is what I heard.
I don't know. I mean, I that sounds pretty
That sounds
exaggerated. It
crazy.
sounds pretty crazy, but who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know if that's true, but I looked it up when I saw that, and it said something like the meeting was canceled, but not until 9:30.
Like
They decided to reconvene or something like that. But either
Reconvene
way,
another time.
I do
Mhm.
know that a business is going to keep moving forward.
yeah, they
You are
figuratively stepped over him, even if they
Yeah,
didn't
because business
Yeah,
is
literally.
going to keep
maybe.
going. It doesn't matter to them. It'll be fine.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
He's
They're
just
just
a
gonna.
guy.
Yeah.
All of you in those positions of power who are like
You-
making other people's lives kind of miserable because you're just taking the money and letting people below you die. You're just a guy. You're nothing to the
But
company. So,
but when people are pushed far enough to where they're like, I don't care what happens to me.
mhm.
I'm stepping in here. It reminds me of have you seen the video of the lady whose daughter was, her like little daughter was sexually assaulted and murdered, and she went to his trial and just stood up and shot him? Like
Good.
there's a
Yes.
video of her standing anyway. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
shows
I would
that
want to do
moment and she's
so much
stone
more.
faced. Yeah, same. I think that's probably the same thing that happened. Like
Yeah. I'd have to rape
somebody
him
was
with
just,
like a molten rod first and then but first he would suffer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. If like the
Anyway.
thought of someone doing something like that to my child and making them endure that, I'm like,
I could endure a lot of jail for.
I could endure that too. I could be like, here, take me out with you. Like I've always been a little crazy like that. Like my defense was like, I'm going out with you. Like with
Yep.
when I was so afraid all the time of somebody being in the back of my car, because you'd always hear these things, or somebody being in the trunk. Like I would just drive myself crazy until I got to the point that I was like, if they're there,
We're both going off a cliff.
Dying. Like I will hit the first fucking tree as fast as I can. I do not care. Like you are dead. Do not touch me, because I'm not going to go through you. Like there are things worse than death. To me, as a woman, it's worse to have to imagine what they're going to put you through. Like, oh my God, I just watched a TikTok and it actually made me cry. I might find it and share it with you and put it here. We'll see if I remember. But so the girl is in the TikTok is just telling you about the nursing student who was murdered recently and how it came out. Can you hear that plane? No? Okay. Well, it came out that I don't know how they know this, but she like it was like a 15-minute attack or something. 17-minute attack. So she knew what he was going to do. She wasn't going to let him do it. She might not have died if she would have just let him rape her. But she fought for 17 minutes. Imagine that. Like if I was her mom.
That's a long time.
That guy, like somebody kill him. You know
that's why I can't
to her.
That's why I couldn't be a judge, because I would
But
use
maybe
the legal
you
system.
should.
Like,
Maybe we shouldn't
well,
be like,
no,
let's be lenient on that. Okay,
well,
because I don't care if you're a human at this point. You barbarically took another human's life. We have video, like we know it was you. You admit it. We don't need you on this planet. I don't fear God. I fear what you'll do to the next person.
Well, I would use the justice system kind of like Russia, where somebody got caught being a pedophile, and he was found in the woods with like 17 stab wounds to his back, and they considered it a suicide.
Yeah.
Like in a shallow grave. That would be me. Like, oh no, that sounds like suicide.
Yeah.
Like,
but the problem is then when people have that kind of power, they could do that with just people they just don't like. And that's where it tends to go. So
they could like pardon their sons and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. See what I did there? I brought it back around.
Or their son-in-laws or their
buddies.
daughter-in-law's father, and then appoint him to cabinet. Yeah.
Yep.
The good thing about the side that voted, I'd say, for the Kamala and Bidens are they're no like superheroes to us. They were literally a vote against Trump.
I liked Kamala.
I like her, okay, but I don't like politicians.
Kamala, I said it wrong.
I don't know. Like I've definitely seen videos of her that have given me pause, and I don't know exactly why she was the way she was, but I don't think she is on the level of Donald Trump. But I think she's still, I
would really like a politician that
I think we would have been a lot better off with her too. Huh?
I would really like a politician that we got behind because they were awesome. Like, how long has it been since we've had a politician that we're like, fuck yeah? Like,
I've never had one, but I do love Bernie Sanders. I love Bernie Sanders. We should have a talk one where you could teach us about like, we just talk about Bernie Sanders. Let me understand what you see. Maybe we should, because like I think he is an actual genuine good human being.
I love genuine good human beings.
Who somehow got
I love good human beings.
Where he is.
Yeah, he's just a loud old guy who really, really cares, in my opinion. So tell me something. I would love to learn all sides.
I think people with his ideas.
He had me sold at the mittens.
He what?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but he had me sold with his mittens. We're good. Me and Bernie and his little.
Yeah. Mittens. Oh yeah, but I would have voted for him. I would 100% voted for him. But our system's still broken, and they wouldn't have allowed him to do anything anyways, and they would have just said, see, it doesn't work. See, he's old. See, you know what I mean? It wouldn't have mattered. So anyways. Wow. Oh, did I tell you the other thing that made me laugh, and I wrote it down here, was the thing when he said the suspect for the CEO of United Healthcare, who they're looking for, anyone in America who hates their healthcare plans and has access to guns. So we've narrowed it down.
We've narrowed it down. Mm-hmm. One of those few.
Yeah.
I'm a suspect.
You're a suspect. Yeah, me too.
I am. I have an alibi for that.
Well, I only have BB guns, so. But you know what? Give me time. I am very persistent.
With a BB gun.
Assassinating someone with a BB gun.
Ta-ting, 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 ta-ting.
I'm telling you, I am patient.
I almost broke the skin. Ta-ting, 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 ta-ting. That'd almost be more satisfying. Hold still.
Oh my gosh. Did you know about execution by like 100 people just shooting BBs? Just nonstop. You can
I
get
kind of
some
like that
powerful
style.
air rifles. They break skin. They'll do the job.
Just one BB for every claim denied.
No, a high-speed pellet. Did they even make them out of lead too? So that'd be good.
Why don't they just use the rubber bullets the police are using on everyday people who are just, standing up for themselves and their other people? Why don't we use that on them? If we feel good on using it on our protesters, why not?
Why not use it on? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
The
Yeah,
next board meeting, everybody gets just kidding. No, it's not gonna do this. Not actually.
What's rubber bullets? Rubber
But
No, it's still no.
Not
rubber
for-
bullets, bean bags,
Bang.
tasers,
How about just the how they fog them out of places, make them a little
pepper
uncomfortable.
spray.
Pepper spray. Yeah,
Ooh,
pepper
fart
spray and
spray.
shut the door.
Fart spray.
Fart spray.
Yeah.
That would be worse for me,
And pepper
honestly.
spray.
Dude, let's think of some creative ones here, because yeah, it just shows you the humanity that's been sucked out of that system. Like
Mhm. Yeah, it's
most
sad.
of us are not sadistic human beings, but
We aren't.
if you're denying people the right to live because of money, like it pisses people off real quick.
Yeah,
Like we love our family members, we want to keep them around, and if you are standing between me and keeping my family member alive, then fuck you.
yeah.
There's
And I get that he is a human and that somebody did die, and I'm sad for his family still. I think it
Yeah.
was probably pretty fast. He probably didn't have to suffer because of I don't know, like if it was that fast, I know how the body works. You go into shock. I don't even remember my house fire. Like I've been through a lot of traumatic things, and it probably lives in here somewhere, but like in those moments, and even still now, some of it is like kind of blacked out. So that gives
Mhm.
me peace that, hopefully he didn't suffer because I don't want anybody to suffer. But
And I
I
would have liked
also
to see
get
it some
it.
sort
I
of
just
trial.
fucking get it. But it wouldn't have done anything. A trial wouldn't have done anything. At most,
true.
a fine that the company pays that they eventually take from the bottom line anyways. Like we're always paying
Yep.
for everything as just the general population.
Yeah. I have been under the I don't know. I feel like people in those positions who are high up who hold us hostage to health, like they hold our healthcare hostage,
Mhm.
should be tried for treason. I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily against the country, but it should be something as far as that.
I think we just need to
as
say,
heavy as that.
okay, insurance never should have been a thing. It should be made illegal. All like
Mhm.
dealings need to go directly to we need to set
The
up a
system.
system where you maybe have a doctor who you are, what is that? Where you're like a member of them. Like I
Mhm.
don't know who we offer it through. We offer like a plan at the dental office I work at. So if you don't have insurance, you can pay like $99 and then get like 50%
Yeah.
off of all your like preventative, 20% off of restorative. So if you need a crown or anything like that, like literally you're going to end up paying less in the long run if you're taking care of yourself and you just need a crown or something here and there than you would
Yeah.
paying for actual dental insurance. We could do the exact same thing with medical offices, just having something to offer to say, hey, you're going to come here. Here's the fee to be like $99. You come here when you need things. This is your copay.
They have that.
I know, but
They
that
have
should
that
be
here.
all we have. That should be
Yep.
all we have. Insurance should be freaking illegal. You have monetized our healthcare. No, that is not okay. When your motive is money, your motive is skewed and you're not going to be taking care of the person. You're going to be seeing what you can make off that person.
Mhm.
Even while you're helping them, and you can say, oh, like even with my work, and sometimes it's like, we look at the numbers, we want you to hit certain goals because that's so we can see how many people you cared for. See what we did there?
Mhm.
That's just how we
Yeah.
measure
It's
how
the
many
wording.
people you cared for.
How many did you care for? And United Healthcare denied twice as many claims as any other healthcare provider.
Yeah,
It
crazy.
was The numbers don't lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for all these
Anywho.
things, their business models failing. Guess what's failing? The fact that you make like $15 million a year. Like that's not feasible. Like that's not like that's so it's just I can't even wrap my head around it. It's so stupid.
The fuckery is fuckering.
It is. And as Cody would say, there are levels to this shit.
There are levels to this shit.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Well, I like your
Okay.
style. I like your style. I like your
Angry?
thoughts. Well, if you weren't angry, there would be a problem. There's a lot to be
I
angry
know.
about.
I just like I need to like step back and make sure I'm just enjoying my life too, because I am in a position of like life is still pretty good for me, despite the fact that we're losing our house and stuff like that. Like it's still okay, you know? So it's like trying to, still not be angry all the time, even though there's much to be angry about, and I can't just ignore it because
Hmm.
I don't have that luxury anymore, I guess. And I wish I
Yeah.
never had even taken it. I wish I had always paid attention. I wish that I learned the way that my girls are learning. But that's all we can do. We
Yeah.
can just keep trying to do better and always keep learning, never think we figured it out, and always be willing and
Yeah.
open to change because we have not figured it out for sure. Like we are
It is a
just
process.
fucking up left and right.
But you know what happens when you fuck up is you learn from your mistakes and you
That's
change
what
and you
you're
grow and you.
supposed to do. That is what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
But when you are never ever held accountable, never not once in your life in any way other than a fine, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Then
Yeah.
you don't actually understand any of that. You know what I mean? You
Yep.
live outside of that. So, and that's who we've given
Yep.
power. So,
Great.
well, I didn't. I actively tried not to, but that is who will be in power. And people like me should be a little nervous because, he just really doesn't like people who don't like him, and I don't like you. And I
I'm glad
actually
that you
like
can say that.
everybody. Like I bet you if we met in person, I'd be able to have a great conversation with him, talk to him. But I feel like he's so fake that like I wouldn't even I don't know. I just don't even feel
He
like I'd
would
want.
he would be an extremely hard person to talk to. I think we've all met people, maybe not to that, there are levels to this shit, but like the same kind of personality where you're like, I don't really want to have a discussion with you. Like, I don't see it going anywhere and I'm gonna get really frustrated. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
I would love to. I would love to. Hey, Don Trump, if you want to come on our podcast, I would fucking love that. And explain yourself. Make me understand who you are and what your end goal is.
Yeah.
And I'll feel differently.
Will
Because
you?
I'm open to learning, but I'm not open to what it feels like to
Fuckery.
be fuckery.
I'm fully anti-fuckery.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I think that was all my points then.
well. And
Anything else you want to
Anthony,
say?
sorry for interrupting so many times. I felt like I talked over the top of you guys a lot, but
Me and
I
you do
liked
that.
all of your
I'm the
points.
worst.
That's all
Anything else you
good.
want to
But
say?
All right, so like our random. This is just okay.
Do it.
go for it.
It's just the funniest. Okay, so like there are so all right, so there's a lot of prophecies in religions of like people coming in and being like charismatic leaders and like destroying extinction levels events, like stuff like that. So,
Antichrist.
so let's say they're able to equate our current times to prophecies. It would really piss me off that they wound up proving some religions right. Like it's like actually pissing some like, oh man,
It's
they
like,
actually kind of
damn it.
called this one, didn't they?
Well, but then Jesus would have to come back. So
What if he does?
I think I'm gonna still think it was CGI somehow because now all of a
It would
sudden
be.
everybody's seeing
But like,
UFOs all over the
didn't they
place,
like
and
predict an antichrist that would rule over for like some X amount of years and
He
like
sure did.
yeah, and I think that's
and
why
the
they're
reason
okay
why
with
his
him,
term,
maybe.
but that's why his term was split up so that it would match the number of years. Like it wouldn't just be the like 4 and 8. It would be like the whole 4, then the 4 off, and this would be a whole 12 year thing.
Got it.
It's like holy shit, the fucking Antichrist is here, and like People and the Christians
We're
don't
just
even
like, okay.
recognize them. The
Yeah,
Christians are
yeah,
following
yeah,
it.
exactly. Well, because I don't think the mainstream like Christian movement right now really aligns with the Jesus I was taught about. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
me and that dude, I think it would be cool. He was very accepting. He was flipping
Well,
tables and saying, "Who, he without sin
yeah.
cast the first stone." You know,
hmm
that's literally
Was it
nobody. Shut the fuck
was
up.
it George Carlin that was like, okay, you have all these different religions that are like, uh, we got the message, but it was, this guy that brought it. And these other ones are like, no, we get the message, but it's this guy that brought it. And he's like, but did you get the message? Did you get the message?
Uh,
I don't care who brought it. Did you get the message?
yeah. So
Like,
if the Jesus I learned about growing up came back, I would feel good. I would be fine. I wouldn't be worried about who I am as a person.
yeah.
But I think it's I don't know. I don't think that's likely.
Mhm.
I think it's
Well,
more
seeing as
likely
how we're
like the
oh for
way that
thousands on
Ishmael, the
the end
book
of the world.
Ishmael, le makes the Bible make sense in our history. I think that's more
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a
realistic.
retelling of Genesis. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Speaking of
we
George
got to do this
Carlin,
book
if you
club.
haven't seen it, George Carlin, Ten Commandments. Watch that
Okay.
skit. It is fantastic.
Okay. I love George Carlin. He was
He
way ahead of his
boils it down
time.
to two commandments that would just and he's right. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Is one of them don't be an asshole? Because that's my commandment. Like,
It's like always be
that's it.
honest and faithful to the provider of thy nookie. And yeah, don't be an asshole, I think is the second one. I
Yeah.
think it's something like that. He
I can get
boils
behind
down the
that.
Ten Commandments. So you basically they're all saying these two things.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. I will agree with that wholeheartedly. So, but yeah, like seeing as how we're for thousands on predicting the end of the world, I'm feel pretty good.
Yeah. No, but we're leading to the end of the world by the decisions we're making. Like,
I call it
like,
before the
Yeah.
end of the term extinction level event. If
Extinction level
he
event.
tried with COVID, but like the fucking Fauci spoke up, that's why
I don't know.
right?
So
And then he's gonna try again. If he tries with another virus thing, you totally know it was
you
him.
think Trump had something to do with the virus?
I think Trump had something to do with how widely it spread in the US before anything was done
Oh,
about it.
yeah.
Didn't
Because
it
he got
ignored
shots and then
ignored
spoke
calls
out against
for
them. Yeah.
federal help, made the states fight for supplies. Yeah, I think he was trying to
I
wipe
think
out
that
people with
whole
Yeah,
thing was
probably. He probably
handled
was. Less people
horribly.
to be able to need the
more
system
and so many, and the
before
funny
he
thing is
gets rid
like
of the system.
so many of them were Trump supporters. He was killing his own people, but so yeah, that's what I honestly
Oh,
think.
he knows. He speaks
Well,
very poorly of the people who follow him.
Yeah, he
He
doesn't care
says stuff
about them.
out loud.
well,
Yeah.
They still don't get
he
it.
says the quiet parts out loud.
He does, but then they hear it and they're like, he's
He
joking.
speaks in hyperbole.
Yeah, you
When he
just
heard
don't get it.
the
You
way
just you just don't
So
know him.
smart.
he'll say something like, "I'm going to assassinate my political opponents," and CNN will be like, "No, he's just joking."
Oh, you mean Fox News?
Or Fox News like, no, he speaks
CNN's
in
the
serious
counterpart
ways.
to Fox News. No.
You don't know him like I do. Yeah. No.
Uh,
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
all thought that, haven't we? Anyways, all
Man.
right.
Well, I've enjoyed this mightily.
Yes.
Anthony, thank you for coming with us
That was
on
fun.
this little journey.
Yeah, and then
It was
we
great.
got to remember what it was we were going to talk about.
Totally forgot.
Okay, we'll figure out what it was we wanted to talk about with the dudes, and
Oh
we'll
yeah.
have like the dudes view on something.
Okay.
We could pick a new thing.
Yeah,
It would
we
be
could put on
interesting.
anything, but yay! All right.
It would be a whole different deal because I think as a female, or maybe just as myself, I'm like, let's see things from both sides. Let's calm the, situation down. And I think dudes
Uh-huh.
are more like, this is how it is. Well, bam. And it just, I don't, it would be interesting to watch. I would like it.
Yeah, I would love it
Mhm.
next time.
Yep.
Maybe. You think you could talk Cody into that? Cody, please.
It's
I don't
fun.
talk Cody into things.
What did you say? You
It
don't
was
talk
just
him
if
into
you,
it? He just needs to
yeah,
want
I
to do
don't, I
it.
don't talk. Yeah, if he wants to do it, great. If not, he won't.
Well,
But
you're invited, Cody. It'd be really fun.
he would
I'd
have
like
a
to
lot of
see
good
your
things to
face.
say.
What'd you say?
I said he would have a lot of good things to say.
Awesome.
And I like his
I'd like to
face
hear
too.
it.
We'll just keep inviting him until he realizes we really want him to come on.
Yeah, I mean that's what I
All
do.
right.
I throw parties all the time, and like I
Eventually.
invite so many people because I'm just like nobody ever was sad they got the invite.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
That's true. You can choose whether or not to go, but
but
you're
you're always
invited.
welcome. Yeah. All right.
Which I'm not gonna get into it right now, but remind me to tell you about my idea of that kind of thing.
Okay.
Sorry,
So I'll text
Jesse
you.
can
Tell me the idea of that kind of thing. Okay.
of that kind of thing. Well, of like
About inviting.
I well, I'll throw this in here, but Jesse can just take it out. But like I want to make this like super awesome greenhouse, right?
Mhm.
Because Idaho gets really cold and really nasty, and it causes a lot of like weather-related depression issues and things.
Yeah.
And like just
That's
throw
why I live down
these,
here in the sun.
yep, and just throw like a brunch once a week and just randomly invite women from around the city and just say, you are invited, come hang out. Let's just
That's awesome. Just
have a little
creating
brunch at this
community.
awesome,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
place. Yep.
That's
And I think
what
it'll
I
be really
want with
fun.
my acreage. I want to create a space that people can come like use communally. If
Yep.
but it's one of those where
My,
you kind of got to contribute to it. Like
yeah.
it's more of like
See,
a
and
you work, you eat.
mhm. And mine would also be like, sometimes I don't want to, so leave. Like I
Yes.
need my own space. I need my own space too. So,
Yeah. Yeah. If I just have my own
but
tent, I'm okay. If I don't
yeah,
need to be away from too much. I
yeah.
need a
No,
space.
you're amazing like that. So anyway, that's my idea. Sorry to just throw that in there at the end. We could
No,
do a whole
I don't see any reason
podcast
to
on stuff
take
like
it
that.
out.
But
I want to do the same thing. So
Yeah.
awesome.
sounds awesome. Everybody do that. Do that. It'll help our world.
That
That'll
would be
do
really cool.
more than
I think so.
anything right now. Build community because
Yeah.
unless you
Like,
want the only community available to you to be the ones that's already been put in place, which are driven by religions and churches. So we need to create our communities that we want that don't include the things that we don't value.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Like Mother Teresa said, go if you want to change the world.
I was
Connect with
gonna
your
say there are
families.
levels to this shit.
As Mother Teresa said, there are levels to this shit.
Direct quote.
Yeah. Direct quote. She said it all the time. She had it tattooed on her arm.
Uh-huh.
If I found that out, I would love her more.
I
But
know. All right. Well, I think we've kind of dragged on here quite a bit. So,
yeah, we have. Okay. Love the crap out of you. You're
okay.
awesome.
Love
Love
you
your thoughts.
too. Lilas.
All
Okay.
right, Lilas.
Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe up there.
Subscribe.
There's a subscribe up there.
Okay.
Like the button.
Okay.